In this video, I'll be covering stoichiometry, but mainly moles to moles conversion, because that was like my most request by people. Because stoichiometry, it seems difficult for many people, and it is difficult for many people, which is why I'm here to help you guys. Okay, so in moles to moles conversion, the formula for this is basically two fractions multiplied with each other. On the first fraction, you put a 1 on the bottom, and then the amount of moles given. Oh, that's really bad. This is really hard to write, to be honest. But the reason why I have an empty box here is because it would be to better understand the formula. And then the second fraction in the formula will be the coefficient of what's given. So the coefficient moles given on the bottom, and on top it will be the coefficient of moles unknown, which is what we're trying to find. So this is basically what the whole formula is for moles to moles, like just moles to moles. So this would be really important to remember. Once like you do a lot of practice and stuff, it won't be that hard to do. So I'm gonna hold on, let me get an equation real quick. I found this equation off Google because I didn't think of an equation. And let's say like one of our problems was converting 6 moles of H2O to O2. And if we look back to this formula, we would start it off with 6 moles of H2O. I know that looks really bad, but it's because like this mouse pad's like really tiny. So we would put our given. So our given is the 6 moles of H2O, but the 6 is really important. So you would put 6 inside this little box right here. And that's why I left it blank, because you do that for like every moles to moles conversion. That's how you always start it off with. And then you multiply it with the coefficients from the equation. And if you don't remember what a coefficient is, coefficients are the big numbers to the left of elements. That's what coefficients are. So as you can see, oh yeah, another important thing I forgot to mention, the reason why you see moles given on here and then you see moles given on below on the other fraction is because the reason why it's like that is because they actually need to be able to cancel out. So our final unit will be moles of the unknown. So that's really important to remember. So we would put 2 moles of H2O on the bottom, and then 2 moles of O2. So we get the moles of H2O from here, so they can cancel out, and we get these two from the equation itself. And if there's not a number there, then you can put the coefficient as 1, because that's like how typical math goes. So we can start canceling out. We can cancel out moles of H2O with moles of H2O. And now, I'm going to write it down here, we're left with 6 over 1 times 2 moles of H2O over 2. And then to simplify this even more, we would have 12 moles of O2 over 2, which when you like divided, that gives us 6 moles of O2, because 12 divided by 2 is 6. That's basically how you do moles to mole conversion, but I'm gonna do another example just in case you don't really understand that much. Okay, so another question could be let's do 3 moles. Oh, that's a really bad moles. Sorry about that. CH4, which I think is methane. I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's do CO2. So to start off the conversion, we have to write our first fraction, which will be 3 moles of CH4 over 1, because that is what is our given. If you look back at the formula for the second fraction, we have to look back at the equation to get our coefficients. So CH4, there's nothing here, so we would just leave it as 1 mole of CH4, and then there is nothing in front of the CO2. It will be 1 mole of CO2. So now we can start canceling out our stuff. So we cancel out moles of CH4 and then moles of CH4 on top and bottom, which gives us 3 over 1 times 1 mole of CO2 over 1, which this is basically just 3 moles of CO2. And then I know for this example and the other example, the moles have been the same amount, but that's not gonna be the case for every scenario. I don't know why it's like that. I actually don't know. But yeah, don't always expect the same number, because it's not gonna be the same number. And that's basically moles to moles conversion.